Hi guys, this is Daniel Alexander Cannon, and this is the Supernatural Show. The show that is not for entertainment purposes only. Today we're going to do something really cool or something new. We have a special guest, which is you. You are the special guest today. We're going to be looking at the comments a lot today. I'm going to be looking for your questions that I should put up as a poll question. We want to know what the people really think. What are the people that come here to the Supernatural Show? They tend to be a certain level of intelligence, you might say, and a certain level of discernment. But what do the people really think? We've already got our first poll going today, and that is in the comments. If you look in the comments, you should see, and it's in the comments on the Logic Before Authority channel. Let me see if I might be able to put it on both at the same time, but I think it's on the Logic Before Authority channel right now. But I might not want to get too fancy here and blow something up today. But anyways, we're going to be seeing what y'all guys really think, because for me, when I look at the polls out there, and I don't want to sway your answers on anything we're going to talk about, but when I look at the polls out there, I look at that the high majority, especially if it's done by some mainstream organization or some political organization, the polls are done to sway your thinking. I tell you, see, humans tend to be creatures of a herd. Like, say there's a bunch of sheep out in the field. Let's call us sheep for a second here. We're out there and we're in the field, and something happens on one side of the field. All of the sheep are going to look at the other sheep in order to determine what they should do. Not too many sheep. There are some, and now we're back to talking about people. There are people that, will think for themselves, you might say. And I think the number of people who think for themselves that will be here on this show today should be pretty high. But we still have even you that thinks for themselves. We still have inclination to and can be influenced by what other people are thinking and other people are doing. We absolutely are. There's no way to avoid it completely, I don't think. Because especially if it's something that happens like all of a sudden, like an emergency situation, we're going to be seeing what everybody else is doing. We're going to be looking around, trying to determine how we should react. How severe is this situation? Should I run or should I walk? All this kind of things. But today we're talking about polls. So we want to know what the people really think about some subjects. The first poll question that I've got up today, okay, is even if you plan not to vote, who do you think will be the next president? The poll question is on the Logic Before Authority page that's live right now, the live show on the Logic Before Authority, because we're live on my Daniel Alexander Cannon Facebook page. We're live on the Logic Before Authority Facebook page. We're live on the Supernatural YouTube show, the Supernatural Show on YouTube, as well as Logic Before Authority on YouTube. We're live on Instagram. We're live on Kick.com. We're live on D-Live, and we're live on another one that I can't remember at the moment because there's 8 of them. So anyways, that's our first question, and I'm wanting y'all guys to answer it. I'm watching y'all guys. You guys are answering it. And while you're there, give the show a thumbs up and a share maybe, because no one's going to see this, that you, the person watching this, you're the one that's in control of the promotion of this show. Okay. Speaking of that, I'm getting ready to have a meeting with the people that have been volunteering to assist with promoting or helping with ideas or helping in any way that they can, helping promote this work that I'm doing, this show, not only this, but what I'm doing on Logical 4 Authority and other things. They're very similar, but I mainly use this channel for this show or videos that are related directly to the supernatural. And we do a lot of other things, as you know, as well. But if you want to assist with helping promote, and you haven't communicated with me already, you'd like to have meetings with the group, there's about a half a dozen of us right now. And about the limit I'm going to go to is about 10 or 12 of people that I'm going to be working with and coming up with the ideas. I already have quite a number of ideas, but I need help implementing some of this stuff as well. So if you're willing to do that, maybe you're willing to just paste and copy a blog on a particular subject matter over to beforeitsnews.com, because there's traffic there. And if you get a blog over there that goes pretty good, you can get 100,000 viewers from beforeitsnews.com even these days, because I've seen it in the last year. Someone went and posted one of my videos over there, and it went over 100,000 pretty quick. So let's see where we're at right now on the poll. Let's go to solo layout, because y'all guys are here with me today in the comments. And again, the question, and it's on the Logical 4 Authority Tech channel. You can jump over there if you want to participate in the poll. And it's on YouTube. It's not on the other platforms like Facebook and Rumble and all those. It says, even if you do not plan to vote, who do you think will be the next president? See, we can ask this question here and get our results, and they're going to be a lot closer to the true opinion of the average public, okay? Maybe not totally average public, because of the kind of people that would come and listen to the things that I talk about. But it's still closer, a lot closer than what you're going to get if it's a poll coming from MSNBC or whoever. So right now we're at 70% Trump, 14% Harris, and 14% Kennedy. That's actually interesting, because I really wasn't expecting. Well, let me say this right off before I say what I'm going to say. I don't have a horse in this race. Okay, I don't have a horse in this race, meaning that I'm not going to vote. Okay, and some people would have. I've seen an opinion very early in the comments today. I'm going to see if I can find it real quick. It was very early in the comments. There was a gentleman that said something. Yeah, here it is, Richard. He said, if you don't vote, they'll put you down for a Marxist vote. Do not vote Democrat on any ticket. Democrats are Marxists. And that's Richard's opinion. And the reason why I say that is because there's a little bit of fear in that, fear-based in that says they'll put you down as a Marxist, right, if you don't vote. The majority of the population already does not vote, okay? Or at least a very large number. So I'm sure all those people aren't Marxists. Most people just don't. There's a lot of people, not most, there's a lot of people that do not pay attention to politics, okay? They don't care, or they find it sickening, or they know that they're liars, and so they just don't pay attention at all. Because, we could ask another question, which we're going to here in just a minute. How many of you believe the government lies to us? How many of you believe the government keeps things from us? How many of you believe the media, like, your news, 7 o'clock news, world news, whatever it is, how many of you believe they lie to you? Okay. I would imagine the chances are it's going to be nearly 100%, right? That are going to say, yeah, they lie. We know these people are liars, yet somehow some people still have invested interest in this game for some reason, because that's what I see it as. It's not exactly a game. It's a stage show is really what we're dealing with here. Okay, an actual stage show. So, all right, let's see where we're at. We got 29 votes, and 76%, as you can see on the screen, is saying Trump, 13% Harris, and 10% Kennedy. Now, me, I know that Trump will be reelected. And I'll share my thoughts on this. And it's not because I like Trump, because I don't like any of them, because I know they're liars. I don't like liars. I don't like cheaters. I don't like crooks. And I know that's what all of them are. And they're all tied in together in a tight-knit group that run the world. Okay. And then they prop these people up in front of you every 4 years. They'll put this one cousin up, and he's there for a while. And then 4 years later, put another cousin up, and everything goes the other direction. 4 years later, put another cousin up, and it goes the other direction. But what never changes direction is the things that they really want to keep in play. You know, they never change those things. So let's see. What should be, I'll leave that question on up a few more minutes, but I'm going to ask now, what should be the next question? Okay. Yeah, they're selected. It's a selection is what it is. It's not an election, it's a selection. Because they're never going to let someone like me or someone like you, if you're listening to this, you could never be president. Never. It wouldn't matter. Even if you say you won the lottery and you won $1 billion, which has happened a few times, right? You won $1 billion. You're never going to be allowed to be president, even if you had the money to run, and spend a whole billion. You would lose. They would rig the system. I mean, we know they lied to us on everything by everyone, and yet we believe for a second that they're going to do a true election. What's wrong with your thinking if you're thinking that way? All right, so give me some questions, some poll questions. Obviously, I've got more that I'll type in and ask, but I'd like to give y'all guys. Let me put y'all guys up where we can see you. Okay. So now your questions. Anybody who's posting a chat question on Logic Before Authority will be shown here. I can't show both at the same time. Not easily, anyways. So let's see if I see any questions coming in. What is it that you want to know what the public really thinks about? It don't have to be about politics. This can be about supernatural things too. Like, do you believe in God? Do you believe in ghosts? Do you believe in spiritual warfare? Whatever the question is, what would you like to know that the public, what would you like to know the real answer on a poll as to the public would think? There is our brother in Christ right there, remote viewer. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, polls are MSM lies. And worse than lies, they're manipulations. Let's see here. Wes says, and we're going to listen to a lot of different people's opinions here. We aren't about shutting down people's thoughts. So Wes says, at least the Republicans had a primary. Trump should be running against Kennedy. You see, everything that's happened, this is something you got to understand, Wes. Everything that has happened that's went on, including the bang bang shoot 'em up in at the rally a couple weeks ago, everything that we've seen that they show us through media is on purpose. Is it not their choice as to whether to air and have their cameras going, or what clips they show us, what clips they don't show us? What they don't show us is going on in the back rooms of the White House, or what they don't show us is going on when they go over and meet at these different world summits where they like to get together, like G7 and all these things, right? What you got to realize is that it's planned. I know this may be hard for some of you to realize, but it's all orchestrated. I've been doing this for 15 years because I wanted to know the truth. Now, have I known this the whole time? No. I had to go through this process of realizing my reality, what I thought I knew, because I thought, hey, I'm a pretty smart guy. I know what's going on. But the truth is, I didn't. I had come to a point, and this has been a decade now, where I've realized that it's all a stage act. You ever heard the saying, the world is a stage, and all of us are actors in it, even us? And how you say, well, how are we actors in it? Well, we are actors in it because we participate. We are influenced by things that they do. Okay? They have the ability to put on a non-stop 24-hour show. And show us videos of things that are going on in this show that they're putting on every day, multiple times a day. You say that's not possible. How could they be running such a well-oiled show? It's because, well, let me give you an example. The Young and the Restless, okay, or one of those soap operas that runs every day, 5 days a week. Maybe not 7, but it's running 5. How do they do it? They do it. And every day they come on there and they do their little make-believe, right? And everything looks almost real, right? And they even talk about things that are, these days, they talk about things that are related to the things that are going on in politics and in media and other things. I mean, the biggest story everybody now is talking about, even on The Price is Right, it gets mentioned every day, is take care of your mental health. Why is it all of a sudden, the last 4 years, maybe 5, now the talk that everybody's saying, take care of your mental health? What are they telling us? What are they telling us that is coming that we need to be worried about, right? All right. So, Wes, man, I hope you, maybe I'm speaking a little bit out of place here for you, Wes, but because I might be reading into your message a little bit too much. And if I did, I apologize. But I just want people to understand that everything we're being shown is planned. They want us to see it. You understand? At least understand what I'm saying, even if you don't agree. Make sure you at least consider it. Okay? Okay, let's see here. I'm looking at your messages here, just trying to see. Oh, here's kind of going a good direction here. All right, let's see where we're at on a poll we got, and then we're going to do a poll related to what you just said, John Baker. Okay? Let's see here where we're at on our poll here. Okay, so we got 39 votes. Question number 1 for the Supernatural poll show. Even if you plan not to vote, who do you think will be the next president? These are answers live on the Supernatural Show live show today. And with 40 votes, we've got 75% says Trump will be president. Harris, 17, Kennedy, 8. Okay? Those are from real people, live. This isn't a manipulated poll. That's what people are thinking. All right, now, we are going to end that poll, and we're going to start a new poll based on John Baker's question. John Baker. So we've got, will Trump be alive on election day? Okay. When Trump is elected, how he serve? Okay. How long will he serve? Okay. Not even, I'm going to go with not even 1 day. That's the first option of the answers. Second, we've got, I'll say, less than 6 months. Okay, and we'll add another option. Less than 4 years. And I know these may not be the best answers for everybody, but I'm just getting it as close as I can. So now we've got less than 4 years, less than 6 months, not even 1 day. And then we've got normal 4 years. Or, let's see if I can, maybe it won't let me do one more question. Or one more answer, rather. Let's go less than 4. Okay, got less than 4. Less than 6, not even 1 day. And let's see here. Let's go with this is a twist. Trump will be the last president. That's going to mess people up because then they can't answer specifically. So let's just leave it just as simple. 4 years. We may ask another question though. All right. There goes that poll. It's now live. If y'all guys will answer that poll, I'd greatly appreciate it. Let's see what we're doing here. Poll is live. It's on the Logic Before Authority channel on YouTube. It's in the comments. Okay, we got 7 votes. Not even 1 day, 12%. Less than 6 months, 22, now 25. Less than 4 years, 11%. 4 years, 44%. So far, most of you believe he will serve a complete term. Okay, now we're at 12 votes. Not even 1 day, 17%. Less than 6 months, a third. Less than 4 years, 17%. In 4 years, 33%. However, there's 31% at the moment that says he'll make it all 4 years. What that means also is that there's over 70% of you believe that he will not make it a full term. Okay. And most of you think that he will not make it 6 months. You kind of know where this is leading to, right? Let me show you something I think I have right here. I think. Let's see. Come on. I'll come back to that in just a minute. I want to show you what the Secret Service manager said recently, or what they're talking about. What they're talking about is what I said when it happened 2 weeks ago. I said they're not done. This was just the test. Okay. I said they're going to take it further. There's going to be another so-called attempt. Okay. Another so-called attempt. Will Trump be alive on election day? Well, I think that kind of falls with not even 1 day, John. where the option of not even one day means he won't be alive when he's elected, basically. Well, there's a little bit of a difference. If he says, will he be alive on election day? It's a little different than not one day, because when you're elected, there's then a period of time, a few weeks before you're actually inaugurated, right? Where they do the whole stage show and have them swear on the Bible to tell the truth and stand there and lie through their teeth. All right, let's see. Supernatural poll question number 2. When Trump is elected, how long will he serve? We got 14 votes, and not even one day is at 21%. Less than 6 months is 29%. Less than 4 years is 21%. And 4 years, meaning he'll serve the whole term, at 29%. That means 2/3 of the people taking this poll believe that something will happen to Trump during those 2 years or 4 years. And honestly, I agree with you. I agree with you that something is going to happen to him. Now, the way that I see it playing out is a little bit different. The whole show, and I do mean show, it's been off the rails pretty good. It's been a pretty good show so far, hasn't it? They've done everything but throw him in a jail cell, although they claim to have arrested him and all that kind of stuff. But I'm telling you, that's a stage show. They wanted you to see it. They're messing with your minds. You're allowing them to do it if you're buying into that at all. Okay, but they put on a pretty good show, haven't they? They've been ripping him down, tearing him apart. Very similar to how they did Christ, right? And that's intentional. Don't think it's intentional? Okay. The man has a father named Christ. His father is Frederick Christ Trump, or used to be Trump. Okay, when they were born in Bavaria, the same neighborhood as Hitler was born. That's because they're cousins. Most people don't realize it. I haven't done the homework. I have. Okay. And I know I just made somebody mad. I know. I'm sorry. I'm not going to stand up here and pretend like I don't know the truth and lie to you. Even if you disagree, you deserve to be told the truth of what I believe is the truth. That's why you're here watching this show, is because there's something that says Daniel has some knowledge. He knows what he's talking about most of the time. So I'm not going to stand here and pretend like I don't know what's going on. We think the Nazi realm got taken down many years ago. It didn't. They're still in charge. They're still in charge. Think they ain't never faked a politician's death before in order to gain political gains? There's many twists, ways that you play chess. Most of you are not expert chess players. Neither am I. But I do know I am an expert at watching them and determining what they're doing and what something closer to the truth of what's really going on. All right, let's see what we say here. When Trump is elected, how long will he serve? We're going to go to the next question in a second. So this is question number 2, the Supernatural Show, poll show. When Trump is elected, how long will he serve? 19% say not even one day. 25% say less than 6 months. 19% says less than 4 years. 38% says 4 years. However, that means 2/3 of you think that something's going to happen, or at least be shown to us as happening to Trump during his presidency. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you what I think is how it's going to play out, and that is they put on a good show so far, with the whole 88 felony charges. 88. Okay. Imagine that it's 88. 88 is the number of Christ. 88 is also Trump in gematria. Gematria is the numbering system that the occult uses to code everything. Every number has a letter. Every letter has a number that's associated with it, and they code it that way. That's why Donald J. Trump is 888 in gematria. That's why the art of the deal is 888, matches Trump's name in gematria. That's why he had 88 generals endorse him last time. That's why he spent $88 million of his own money. These are all things you can look up. He even raised $88 million for his new presidency. His grandmother supposedly died, I believe, if this one's correct. This one I could be wrong on, but died at 88 years old. All right, so let's go ahead and end that poll, and let's get us a new question. MAGA is basically, and it's actually MAGA, not mega, but MAGA. MAGA is the highest level of position in the Satanic Church, is what MAGA means, MAGA. So I know what you're probably pointing at there. Fox is 666 in Jewish gematria. Yep. All right, let's see. So what's the next question, guys? Where do you want to go from there? You want to stay on politics, or you want to talk about something supernatural? Let's ask a question here. Let's just ask this question. I just want to know. Do you believe in God, Father, or whatever you call him, okay? But I'm talking about the one and only true God. Okay, so we got yes and we got no. Let's start the poll. You got to be honest. If you don't believe in a God, then you have no ramification, right? So there's no reason to tell a lie. Just tell the truth. Do you believe in God? Here's your chance to state it publicly. All right, got 12 votes already at 100%. Yes. 14 votes. 16 votes. Yes, I believe in God. 16 votes. Do you believe in God / Father, one and only true God? 100%. 17 votes. Yes. Y'all guys mind sharing this video for me? Who couldn't watch this? Who would you be embarrassed to send this to? Of course, the Trump lovers aren't going to love this, or the politician lovers that believe the politicians are their God. Maybe that's our next question. Who do you believe is going to save you? God? Maybe we'll say God / Jesus Christ. Trump. Harris. You know, all the normal candidates when it comes to politics, right? Who do you believe is going to save you? But right now we've got 17 votes, and we've got, do you believe in God / Father, the one and only true God? 100% says yes. Hallelujah. That is awesome. 100%. All right. We'll go ahead and end that poll, and we'll start another one. Okay. I think with 100% of the people saying that they believe in God, then that should mean that 100% of the people here realize that no man is going to save us. All man has ever done throughout history is lead people into the pit. Let's see here, I'll try something different if I can. Let's see, what's the question I'm thinking here? What man ever led his people to a righteous place? What man ever led his people to a righteous place? I'm not sure how this is going to work. We're going to try it. So let's start Q&A. I think y'all guys can answer the question, or either if this don't work, we'll do it a different way. But so what I'm looking for is, tell me a man in history or a woman that has truly led a large number of people, millions, maybe a little less, but let's say millions, right? What man in flesh has ever led a large number of people to a righteous place? I'm not saying there isn't one. I'm asking the question. Okay, we got Jesus Christ only, no one, Jesus. Okay, we got some answers coming in. All right, guys, you got to participate. That's how this is supposed to work. You ain't supposed to just sit there and looky-loo. You're supposed to participate. If you think it's Jesus, put Jesus. Did Jesus lead millions of people to a righteous place? Is he still leading people to a righteous place? I knew this was one of the possible answers in my head when I asked the question. Nobody else want to play with that question? It should be listed in the comments. There's people answering it, so I know it's working. Should be in the comments on the Logic Before Authority channel. What man in history has ever led his people to a righteous place? The only one that comes to mind for me is Yahushua HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ. Okay, that's the only one that comes to mind for me that's led people to a righteous place. A very large number. I try to do the best I can here in this platform, this situation, but this question is way above my head. Okay. All right. Let's ask another poll question. And I want it from y'all guys. Let's see here. I'm looking at the comments. I'm looking for questions. I want a question that you would like to know. And I see a bunch of your comments. You're responding in the chat itself. This is what everybody was saying. I wasn't looking right. I couldn't see the chat while I was doing what I was doing. And I did think about Moses as well. But I think Jesus is think about people like to question as to whether this actual human being, walked the earth in flesh. People like to question it, yet he's the most written about man in all of history, in all of books. He's written about in more books, in more places, and more times than any other man in history. And yet still somehow someone has the audacity to say that that man exists. He had such influence on the entire world that he's still to this day leading people to a righteous place. You ever thought about it like that? He's the most written about, the most talked about. And if you want to know what's real in this world, find out what they're telling you is fake. They're telling us that they're making fun of the Last Supper and anything to do with Christ. What do? They mock. All right, still sorry, Debbie, you were on the wrong channel. Both are the right channel. It's just that I'm engaging through the Logic Before Authority channel because it's easier, because I'm using 2 PCs here today. So let's find our next question, guys. Let's see here. I can't think of everything. I mean, I've got a list of supernatural type questions I could ask. So what, Donald? Oh, somebody asked if Trump is the Antichrist. And there are many Antichrists. There's the question. It's okay, Debbie. I'm just glad you're here. I'm glad all of you are here participating. You know, we see these polls all the time out there, and they come back and they tell us what they want us to believe. I mean, you remember when they were doing the polls and they were saying how Biden, back in the previous election cycle, when they said Biden got, was getting more support, and the man can't even, of course, this is a show too. See, Biden is not cuckoo as he acts on stage. He's being an actor. He's acting like a dumb old crazy old man that ain't got good sense. It's all an act. Anybody get this yet? I know some of you do. But the rest of you need to question yourself. Don't be afraid to realize that you were wrong. Okay? It's good to be wrong sometimes. It's good to realize you've been manipulated, because once you get past that, you become freer. I don't want any of you to be manipulated by these people. They're just destroying people. They've hurt my life to no end. Okay? And they still affect my life right now greatly in a negative way. And I don't want them to do any of these things to y'all guys. All right, let's see here. Debbie says rigged. So, okay, here's another question. I'm going to pull this back to full screen. Will the 2024 presidential election... Now, you're going to need to think before you answer this question. I'll explain in a second. Okay. Will the 2024 presidential election be rigged? I haven't started the poll yet. Okay, I'm going to start it in a second. Okay, so I want to say some things, but if I say them, it's going to change your answers. So I'm not going to do that. So let me just go ahead and start the poll. Will the 2024 presidential election be rigged? 7 votes, yes. 0 votes, no. 10 votes, yes. 1 vote, no. 90% yes. Or you can see what it's saying on the screen. That's why I've been trying to get this set up like this so it works, so we can interact more like this. Make y'all guys part of the show, because that's why I built this whole platform. It's for this to be y'all guys' platform. Y'all guys can right now go on the website and sign up to have your own show on my platform, and I'll pay for everything. All you have to do is show up and tell the truth. You can go on the website and find that. TheSupernatural.Show. Well, the 2024, this is Supernatural poll questions. What, number 45, something like that. Will the 2024 presidential election be rigged? 94% say yes. 6% say no. 18 votes, 94 to 6. So pretty much everyone, or almost everyone, is saying yes, it will be rigged. My answer would be yes, it will be rigged. And what I was going to say earlier, but I didn't want to say yet, was giving y'all guys some time to vote here. So we've got 19 votes with 95% saying yes, it's going to be rigged. So what I was going to say is that the whole thing is already rigged. The no election you're ever going to see the true numbers for, because they already know who they're going to allow to win and what the agenda will be while they are in the office. Okay. They're being your pretend savior, your pretend leader, and it goes backwards and forth every 4 years, and we never really get anywhere. The only thing that truly happens is they get to, as they're going backwards and forth, they get to put in and implement things that none of us like. Right? They just continuously bounce the ball backwards and forth. And while we're watching the ball going backwards and forth, the things that they are implementing, like what is it that Trump is going to fix that Biden did, right? He may come back in and select 1 or 2 things, but the things that they really want and was the plan all along, they're never going to change any of that. So we got 23 votes. 91% says the 2024 presidential election will be rigged. 9% says no. So I think y'all guys agree with me pretty much that there is no way to unrig this election, because it's all set up from the very beginning. It always has been. There's never been a truly for the people president. I know. You read in a book or heard on a TV show that this one did this and this one did this, and it was really good. And old Abe, President Abraham Lincoln, he was supposedly maybe good because he freed the slaves. No, he didn't. He didn't free no slaves. He just enslaved all of us. Back in those days is when they put in the ramping up and getting things lined up to have everybody with a Social Security number, so that everybody could be enslaved at the level we're at now. And somebody listening to me is saying, I'm not a slave. They don't have me enslaved. I'm not a slave. They have us all enslaved. We only have a limited amount of choices when it comes to anything we do, and it's all based on how they have the system set up. You can't even go travel down the roads without some thug coming up in a fast car with all kind of heliotrope flashing lights on it. Heliotrope, the color that flashes on the blue lights, they're called heliotrope. They're the color of royalty and cause people to have a innate reaction to submit. That color is a dominant color, a domination color, okay, called heliotrope. Then the man will get out and come up to your car, and he's trying to keep you safe, trying to keep everybody safe. That's why he's got a gun on his hip and a taser, and don't mind using it. And he tells you, you were moving across the land a little too fast, or your tag light is out, or you didn't stop all the way at that stop sign, so I'm going to need some money. Pay up. It's a revenuer. It's been the same for way back in the day. It's just now completely accepted, almost, because I don't accept it. I haven't had a driver's license over a year out of the last 15 years. Yet I drive. And I ain't got pulled over once because I say a prayer before I go anywhere. And I ask Father to watch out for me. And I ask him that anyone who may come against me while I'm traveling, because that's what I'm doing. I'm traveling. I'm not driving. Driving is a commercial term, like if you're a truck driver or an Uber driver or these kind of things. So I say, Father, anyone who comes against me, please divert them, or will make me invisible, or divert their mind and send them in another direction. I don't wish harm upon them, but they need to leave me alone. And for 15 years, it works. I would say I haven't done it completely every time for 15 years, but for a long time now, I've been doing it every single time. All right, let's see. We got 30 votes now. Will the 2024 presidential election be rigged? Let's see here. Let me blow it up again. 93% say it will be rigged. Now, obviously, last time during the election, obviously, they came out and said that Biden was the favorite and he got more votes than any president in history. Biden. Okay. Obviously, from a general public perception, a high majority of the people supported Trump last time around. And out of the people who did vote, I'm sure the high majority was for Mr. T, right? And yet somehow they can lie to our faces like that. And people, knowing they got lied to, still go back and participate again. Okay. Let's end this poll. Let's start a new poll. And just be honest. Are you going to vote? This 2024 president election? You're going to have to tell the truth. Big man upstairs is watching. So just tell the truth, okay? All right, yes or no? There's your next poll question. Are you going to vote this 2024 presidential election? I just want to know the truth as to how you feel. I don't know who says yes or no. And I'm not going to bash you. I might try to reason with you, but just answer how you feel. Are you going to vote this 2024 presidential election? We've got one vote yes and the rest no. We've got two yeses basically and the rest no. 12 votes, 13 votes total, 15% yes, 85% no. 13 votes so far. So basically, right at 90% is saying they will not vote. But let's give it a little time and let the numbers come up a little bit. You got to participate. This is on the, if you're getting here late, this is on the Logic Before Authority chat area in the live show that's going on right now on the Logic Before Authority. So if you're on the Supernatural Show, you can jump over there real quick because this poll is going to be up for a few minutes and you can participate. We got 18 votes. It says, are you going to vote this 2024 presidential election? Yes, we've got 17%. No, we've got 84%. We'll let that simmer a minute, you might say. Let me check back over here in the comments. While y'all guys are answering that poll, let's find the next poll, okay? All right. Alan Childs says, polls are a tool they use to condition people for a pre-planned election result. Yeah, and also like remember how about a month ago I did a show, I'm saying they're talking about Trump getting popped, getting thumped, right? And I said they're talking about it. It's coming. It's coming. You remember? About 2 weeks before it happened, I put out a show. It's still on the channel. You can go back and look at it. And I told you guys, I've been telling you now for about 9 years. It's a little hot in here. Been telling you now for about 9 years that this was coming. This was going to happen. I didn't know that they were going to go so intense with the whole going after him, pretending like they're going after him to destroy him. Trust me, if they didn't want him to be still running for president, he wouldn't be. Do you think that he's so unstoppable because he has a bunch of money in the bank? Do you think he's so unstoppable because he's just a man. He's just flesh. He's, from an unstoppable standpoint, he has more protection than maybe me or you, okay? But if the beast system, the system overall that runs above his head, because he ain't at the top, runs above his head, he's a top actor, a top player. And I say actor like an actor on the stage. What do they call themselves and when things go on? They call themselves actors. A lot of the time they do. They'll just call it what it is, because just like when Trump said, we'll have it fixed, Christians, you won't need to vote anymore. I understand, I'm not bashing Trump. I'm bashing the whole system. Okay? I'm not anti-Trump and pro-Harris or pro anyone else, even Kennedy. You know, I would like to think Kennedy is a better man. And if, put it this way, if he is, he'll never make it in the office. I'd like to think he is, but he's buddies with these people. And you can't dance with the devil and expect to come out with your clothes not on fire. You lay down with dogs, you're going to be getting up with fleas. And that's just the way it works in this world. And so what am I saying? I'm saying, yeah, Kennedy is probably dirty. Highly likely. I haven't spent that much time looking at him. I know he was doing some good work in trying to tell people that the snake bites, people love to get in their arms. that they were bad and all these things and they were and all this, but there's no real meat. It's just a lot of talk. It's a lot of fluff. Where's the change that happened? Where's any, they've got so much power at the top of this system, like the Bible says, who can make war with it? It's tough. But our Father in heaven is the one that can make war and does make war and will make war with it. And they will be defeated in the end. And we will be victorious in the end. And I believe that. Now, I don't know if it'll be in my lifetime. It's my lifetime. I'm just here visiting for a little while. And, whenever Father decides, I'm going back home. This was just a volunteer trip for me. Let's see, we got 30 votes. And are you going to vote this 2024 presidential election? 17% said yes. 83 said no. Now we're at 19, no. Okay, 19 and 81. Okay, so 19%, 22% now saying yes. Now, I told you I wasn't going to beat you up, but I do have to ask. I'm assuming, and I could be wrong, but I'm assuming the ones that are saying yes are the ones that are voting for Kennedy. Or maybe Harris. Maybe Trump, but probably Kennedy. Because you're like me. You think, that he seems that he is trying to do good things. But how many of you, okay, all right. I got a question for you. I got a poll for you. All right, let me put this full screen again. How many of you were tricked into liking Obama enough to consider voting for him? So how many of you, back in the day when Obama was running for president and he was highly charismatic and he was telling everybody what they wanted to hear, they know that people are getting more and more desperate because things are getting worse and worse in general, right? Okay. So, but how many of you, and I'm going to give you my honest answer about myself with this, okay? I'll give it to you right up front. There was a moment there for just a little while where I wanted to like Obama. I wanted to like him. He was such and still is, a great orator, a great speaker, and he kind of had me for a second. It didn't last. No. And I never voted for him. But just be honest and answer, how many of you were tricked into liking Obama enough to consider voting for him? Not whether you did vote or you didn't vote for him, but whether you considered it. Okay. So if you choose yes, it'll be saying, yeah, I was kind of bamboozled, or the voodoo kind of worked on you just for a little bit. Okay. All right. Polls up. Vote away. How many of you were tricked into liking Obama enough to consider voting for him back in the day? Just be honest with yourself here, just like I was. I'm not proud of the fact that for a moment there I thought, I remember one time he came to Boise, Idaho. It was back when I was living in Boise, and it was it was from my memory serves me correct. It was before I started doing this kind of work, you know. And then I remember he was going to be at the college there, and they filled up the college, Boise State University. They filled up their Coliseum there, and there was a line that it was just huge amount of people that he was able to fool. And at the time back then, I was a registered Republican, and but he was up against, who was it at the time when he first run for president? Who was he up against? Somebody tell me in the comments who Obama ran against. If you don't mind, please tell me who Obama ran against. Okay, let's see how we're doing on our poll here. How many of you were tricked into liking Obama enough to consider voting for him, even if it was just for a day or a week or whatever? You were thinking, maybe I should. Maybe he will do good. Maybe, you just got kind of cold of personality, kind of whip tricked there a little bit. That's what I'm asking. 24 votes. We got 50-50. Wow. I appreciate y'all guys being honest, because I didn't like admitting that either. But we've got 50% that's saying that they were tricked into and bought into the lies enough to just to consider maybe voting. Doesn't matter if you voted for him or not, or did or didn't, or maybe you didn't even vote at all. That doesn't matter. The question is were you enticed by Obama's hook, you might say? Okay. And we've got 24 votes at 50-50. That's very interesting. So do you see how back then I and others were being bamboozled, and we had to come to a point where we realized we were. So if you're listening to this show and you don't realize that the whole world is a stage act, and there are controllers and powers that are running things to a level that it would blow your mind. I mean, they have had everything planned out. All major events that go on, they're behind all of them. All of them. Some of them that even seem natural in nature, like tsunamis, like the 2011, 11 March 2011, I believe it was, the tsunami that hit Japan. I don't believe for a second, because of the ritual numbers and everything that went on along with that thing. I don't have any proof. Of course I don't. But I think that they have their hand in most every major event that's going on in the world. And they really love affecting the things that what we would normally consider to be natural, like a tsunami maybe, okay? Or maybe a volcano going off. Maybe I've thought quite often that they like messing with certain volcanoes, like the one in Hawaii. Like when we found out that they had that plant built almost right on top of Kilauea. And there was the area that went out to the northeast. There was where all those like little craters popped up. I forget the lingo now, but all the little craters popped up and lava came out of, and they happened to just have a plant there. And the lava encased all the way around the entire area, but doesn't get the plant. I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying that was for sure the case. Let's see. Okay, so the poll was changed a little bit. We've gotten up to 30 votes again. And how many of you were tricked into liking Obama enough to consider voting for him? 60% of you are saying no, and 40% are saying yes. And I think about 10% of you are not being honest with yourself. Because he was he like a serpent, very deceptive, very quietly and almost unnoticeable. But it didn't take us all that long to catch on to him. And every hint that you need to know what Trump is has been given to you, because they like to tell you the truth. And when you still go along and accept it and continue to consent and play the game, the blood's on your hands then. You see, the blood's on your hands then. They feel like that if they tell you the truth and you ain't got enough of pure discernment, and so you continue to walk ahead and go off that cliff, they feel like the blood is not on their hands. That's how they operate. How do I know this? From studying their behaviors for 15 years. And I'm not talking about a casual study. I'm talking about 7 days a week, 30 days a month, or how many ever you want to count. Every day there has not been one day that I haven't spent a lot of time pondering all this stuff. Not one day. When my son, Manoah, got diagnosed after he was 2 years old, we went down, and of course they're saying he's got to have his snake bites in his arms and stuff to be able to go to school, and and you're trying to be a good parent, and you all these kind of things. I didn't want to do it, to be honest with you. I already knew something was up, but I didn't have the fortitude or something. I was missing something, and I ended up allowing him to get the snake bite. And within about 2 weeks, my son was gone. He didn't die, but it was like he wasn't there. And to this day, it's still destroying me. It kills me a little bit more each day. And I started digging and trying to figure out what went wrong. And when I ultimately found out they used mercury in those snake bites and other things that are intentionally destroying people, when I found out that my own medical system, my own school and the teachers, my own government had lied to me in such a way that my son was now going to have to live with a handicap for the rest of his life. Do you know what that does to a man? It enrages you. It just makes you a warrior for the truth. That's why I call myself a humanitarian warrior, because I'm at battle, you see. I've been at battle for 15 years. And I'm going to battle until I can't breathe no more, because they lied to me. My own country, my own schools that we're supposed to be able to trust, the doctors that we're supposed to be able to trust, they all lied, and it cost me the most important thing I could ever have in this world. It was my son, and damaging him. So this is why I'm trying to say to y'all guys that are still going to participate in voting, that are going to still believe and don't understand that this is a stage show. It's a stage show. You didn't hire me, okay, to do this. I hired myself, and I have suffered. Before I did this, I was in real estate business. And I could still be in the real estate business right now. And I'd be making huge money because I'd be doing the coolest real estate shows live and going to houses and touring them with drones and everything you can imagine. I'd be getting off with it. But I can't because they hurt my son. And they're hurting your son and your children. And they're hurting you. And I can't deal with it. I can't turn back. I have to stay in the battle. Don't you understand? If every show, if I can just wake one more person up, make them realize what's going on, they're being buffooned. If I can just do that, because I want to be I know I'm just a mosquito to this beast system, but I want to be excuse my language, but the baddest ass mosquito and just annoy the crap out of the devil and out of this beast system that hurt my son and has hurt me and hurt his mama. Everyone listening to my voice right now has been damaged. Whether you realize it or not, you've been lied to, but not just a lie that don't hurt you. You've been lied to about something that has actually damaged you. And some of you don't even know what it is, but I'm telling you, it's there. It's like a splinter that's in your foot or something, and you can't see it and ain't really swollen up, but it's there. And that just makes me sick. They're getting away with this stuff. And that's why I do this. A lot of the reason why I do this. It ain't for the money, because I really just get by. I have to ask for charity on my channels quite often because I barely get by. But I do get by. And y'all guys have supported me a lot, so I'm very proud of y'all guys and the support that you've given me over the years. But, it's not for the money, because there's a lot of things I don't have that I kind of need. But I'm okay today and I'll be okay tomorrow. But we'll just continue this fight. All right, let's see if we got any more questions. I appreciate all y'all guys' kind comments. And yeah, I feel T-Dub. I don't know if this is a dub from out in Louisiana or not, but wrath, yeah. Sometimes it wells up in me, makes me think things I shouldn't think, and makes me think things that I can't say publicly. But I take it to them the best way I can, and that's with doing what I do and what I've been doing now for 15 years. I take it to them the best way I can. All right, so, and yeah, let's think of another. Pennsylvania. Okay, T-Dub. Yeah, I know of another guy that lives down in Louisiana. Kind of goes by a name like that. I appreciate you being here, buddy. I appreciate all of you. Yeah. Same Timber Traveler. Says, praise God, Daniel. I feel that. Same with my daughter. So glad I subbed to you so many years ago. I sure appreciate your insight. Well, thank you. And I appreciate you being awake and knowing the truth. And being able to know that I've made a difference in some people's lives, it gives me energy and wind in my sails, because I want to know that I've made a difference to people. I want to know that I've helped correct maybe some ways of thinking, maybe saved some babies from getting snake bites, maybe save some souls, lead a few people in the right direction, a righteous direction. There's no other reason to do this show if it isn't for those reasons. I don't care about other stuff anymore. I couldn't do anything else. I have to be speaking out. And right now, we've got people all around the world watching. If y'all guys wouldn't mind, put in the comments where you're watching the show from. Are you watching from Pennsylvania? You can put state, or you can put the city in the state, or you can put the country. 1 in 36 children are now born autistic. Well, that's how much damage they're doing. And what's worse is they're literally killing our children. And they're talking another portion of us into murdering our own children and calling it reproductive rights or health. What the heck has to do with health when you're killing a child? And it is a child. From the moment the sperm enters the egg, there's a spark. That spark is that spirit of that child connecting. They've got, golly. All right, we got some places coming in here. Let's see here. Oh, got quite a few. Okay, let's see. Where do you start at? Here we go. South Carolina, West. Nice. Down towards the Channel area, the Pawleys Island area, down in South Carolina, generally. If you live close enough by, send a message sometime, and never know, we might have lunch or something sometime. Let's see what we got. Massachusetts. Thank you for being here, brother. I appreciate you. We got Ohio Dean in the house. We've got the bishop's wife from New York City. New York City. I hate to say it, but I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you manage to live in that place. I've been there. I've been to New York and through New York a number of times. I've been to LA a number of times back when I was in business. When I was in the real estate business, I was flying all over the country holding conferences where I would be the keynote speaker for hundreds of people, sometimes as many as about 500 to 800. I'd hold real estate investment conferences. And I was the number one real estate agent in the state of Idaho. Back when I was chasing the dollar. Now I'm chasing Jesus. I'm chasing souls. Rebecca is in Utah. Hello, Rebecca. Strange Skies 1111 is back in the house again and is in Maine. South Dakota boys are in South Dakota. Manny C. in Athens, Greece. Was in Maryland before watching. Oh, you're in Athens, Greece. That's what we'll go with. Here we go. Timber Traveler. Vancouver Island, British Columbia, Canada. Nice. You're up there in the area of that guy that his name's Steve, the How to Hunt channel. He's up in that area, and people write him letters and send him in emails and stuff about their experiences with the woods people. There is Antoinette in Kentucky. I appreciate you being here, Antoinette. Oh no. Got force tested going by ambulance to ER. I backed up and lady came at me like a snake. Oh boy. You got to be really, don't let anybody do anything to you. You have autonomy over your body. You have the right to resist. Just say no sternly. Look them in the eye. Let them know you ain't backing down. I'm so sorry they did that to you. We've got Kay in Columbus, Ohio. We've got Tora in Missouri, or Misery. I spent about 2 weeks there one time. Whew, it's a whole nother story. I made the mistake of going to the wrong viewer's house. Had about 30 birds in the house, multiple dogs, and the way they would clean their plates is put the plates on the floor and not in the dishwasher afterwards. Oh, it was terrible. The mattress that they gave me to stay on had no fabric on it. It was all was left was springs. The place was haunted. They had a pigeon that flew all around the house, everywhere, pooping on everything, and they didn't clean it up. They told me, oh, there's a hole downstairs. You can stay down there as long as you want. Bedroom was downstairs. The wood heater was down there cooking me. And the kitchen was down there. But the refrigerator had been unplugged for a couple of years, but the freezer was full of meat. Not a good situation. All right, let's see. Where else we got? We got small town in Idaho. John Baker. A lot of small towns in Idaho, that's for sure. I lived in Idaho for 17 years, John. And it's a beautiful state. It really is. It's probably the most beautiful state I've ever been to in the United States. Now, I have been somewhere that was, in its own way, more beautiful, which was actually Belize down in Central America, because of how tropical and how alive everything is. The flowers down there like glow. I mean, it's alive down there. If you've never been to Central America, particularly Belize, it's about the best place that I know of to go. When I stayed there some years back, I stayed for a couple of months, and it was $500 a month for a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, nice kitchen. The whole place was built out of hardwood, all hardwood and tile. It was just a really nice little place. Had coconut trees in the yard. Awesome. But Idaho is where my son stays now, actually, with my ex-wife, his mother. And I wish her the best if she's listening by chance, which I'm sure she's not. I wish her the best. And I also wish that she would stop a few things that are still continuing to go on that are hurting me. It's been long enough now, Rebecca. We got Daniel out of Phoenix. We've got, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name there, but out of California. We got Racha out of Southeast Missouri. We got Wisdom 333 out of Ohio. See, we're spread all over everywhere, truly like seeds in a wasteland. The only true, real seeds out there. We're spread all over in many countries. I get a lot of comments of other countries and stuff as well. Kind of like the one earlier. Northern California, Chari. Kent out of North Carolina. T. Lawton out of Tennessee. Wes out of Myrtle Beach. Wes Welk out of Myrtle Beach. Well, nice to meet you, Wes. Nice to meet all of you. I hope if y'all guys aren't subscribed to this channel that you'll subscribe. We got 7 out of Nevada. We've got British Columbia. It says S left British Columbia. Timber Traveler. Oh, you left British Columbia. I I think is what you were saying. Okay. Yeah, that spark thing is a very, very interesting thing, how the egg sparks when the sperm enters. There's a lot to discern and to see and understand about not just reproduction, but how so many things work in this world by understanding that. That has to do with how I was able to predict that with this eclipse that happened on April 8th. I predicted before the eclipse that there would be a giant spark that would happen. And of course, I was proven correct. But I like to think extremely deep when it comes to some matters, or pretty much all matters, really. Okay. 7,000 feet in the White Mountains of Arizona. They got mountains that high in Arizona. Wow. I mean, that's not super high, but it's pretty high. That's about as high as the ski resort was at in Boise, Idaho. Hey, buddy, I appreciate you too. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Let's see here. Looking. Queens, the bishop wife is back. She said she's in Queens, not in Manhattan, where I am still really nice, lucky. I'm born and raised in New York all of my 51 years. Wow. Well, I would hope and know, I would like to believe that you've heard me talk about some of the prophecy that I've talked about for New York City. You see, New York City is part of Babylon, and there's going to come a date when it's going to fall, and it would be utterly destroyed. So I'm not telling you that to scare you. I'm not telling you that for any benefit of my own. I'm telling you that because it's going to happen. And you should have had the right to have had someone to tell you that it was going to happen. It's going to happen in the next 4-5 years max, probably the next 4. I hope this isn't the first time you're coming across this knowledge, the bishop's wife. I send my love to you, and pray and ask Father about that and what you should do about it. Okay? We got Southern Oregon in the house as well. We've got did I see Hangman's 11/28 post the other day? Did I? I don't think so. I'll have to look it up. I'm assuming you're talking about on YouTube. Central Alabama in the house. Anthony, thank you for being here, buddy. Let's see here. Wes says Ted Bundy country. Right? Another Manchurian kind of dude, I think. Not you, but, Ted. Let's see. Is this live? Yes, it is live, Kent. We are still live. Let's see, we got from Saskatoon, Canada. Civic holiday, long weekend, all Canada. Yeah. You ever thought about how the days on the calendar and all these holidays, which are technically they're holy days, but they're their holy days. Not by accident that it's called holly. It's holy. And it's days that are worshiping mostly like fallen angels or Greek gods of old and all these kind of things that seem to be kind of working their way back again these days. I've got a show actually I'm going to be doing on that soon, on that subject matter. Let's see here. Just looking at the comments a little bit more. Lots of comments. I appreciate all your comments. Sojourn says, yep, at 60 years old, I was treated or tested for autism last week, awaiting the results. My mother overlooked this. I'm in Florida right now, West Coast. So you're going to get that tropical storm here pretty soon. Best thing I can tell any of you that are having problems with anything to do with your health or your body is go to the root of the problem and address the root of the problem. And what do I mean by that? I mean that if you have sugar diabetes, or they're telling you have this thing that they've called and labeled this name of sugar diabetes, you need to understand exactly what that is and what's causing it, because what's causing it likely is your choices. You have to be honest enough with yourself to recognize I'm the one that's doing this to myself. You know, in all of our lives, even in my own life, we have to be honest with ourselves and say, I'm the problem. Because if you go to the doctor, they're just going to shove pills down your throat. And the first one you take is going to have side effects. And those side effects are going to cause you to end up having this other little problem, which is going to cause you to need another pill. Then you get another pill, and then that one ultimately will cause you to have another little side effect. And the best thing to do is cancel all that out, recognize that we're the ones in charge of cleaning our temple. There can't nobody else clean our temple, okay? Father in heaven put us in charge of these temples that we run. We are the high priest within our bodies. We decide what goes in, what comes out, everything, okay? We're in charge of it. So take charge of it. Don't allow someone else to trick you into, take your medicine. You better go get some pills for that. You better see a doctor. How about you look in the mirror at yourself and say, I'm the problem, and I'm going to fix the problem. Yeah, it might be painful. Maybe you've got an addiction to a certain kind of a medication, and now you're becoming aware and awake. You can still do it. You might have to trim off slowly, track it on a spreadsheet or track it somehow, but get it done, because what you're ultimately doing is you're allowing weight to be on you, hooking you. You got you like this, and it's costing you somehow in your life. It's costing you. And all of us have been through and are even going through these things, and we need to address them. So I hope, I would say ultimately, I want to say this too about what we were just talking about, and that is, our Father in heaven put everything on this planet we need to treat any problem that we might have. Okay. Now, if you continue to poison yourself with something, it's hard to treat something like that. Okay. But what you can do is, say, for instance, if you come back and they tell you you've got autism, okay, there are things that will help you with that. Autism is a matter of the head. It's something that's wrong in the head in general, in the brain, the connections, the wiring, all this stuff, the electrical patterns and everything. That's why a lot of times people with autism have a problem with speaking. And also they might have a problem with social situations. They don't understand social situations as well. But the biggest thing you can do for anything that has to do with the head is go out and get anything that grows in the top of the trees. See, the trees they're symbolically the medicine for the head. It's in the crown of the tree. That's medicine for the head. Like walnuts. Walnuts look like your brains. They're inside of a hard shell like your brain. You crack them open, look at them. They look like brains. Same thing with pecans and a lot of other nuts. But it's nuts and even leaves and like pine cone seeds. Okay. Like, you have something called a pineal gland in your head. You have pine cone seeds, pineal, okay, pine needle, like pine needles, pineal gland, pine needle. Pineal gland actually has all these little teeny fibers on it that stick out just like a bloom on a pine tree. You take those, go out and get those nice green new growth, preferably needles off of a pine tree, put it in some water and boil it. Then you just remove the pine needles, drink the water. That's medicine for your head. You see? It came out the head of the tree, the crown. This is our crown. If you got a problem with your stomach, well, our stomach is our roots. So you got to go out and you got to go dig up some roots. You see, with a tree, it puts its roots into the earth. With us, we have to put the earth into us. That's why I like any kind of a root, typically, like if you got problems with your stomach, you go and you're going to buy something that's, what's the name of that root? I'm drawing a blank here again. Not ginseng. I got some back there I'm growing. I can't even think of it. Anyways, the solutions are out there for you. You just have to understand that your stomach is just like the earth, okay? It's the body, it's the earth, it's the digestive system. So therefore, your solutions for yours is going to be under the earth when you're having stomach problems. And you want to eat a little of everything anyway, so you need to get some roots if you ain't eating them. Like rutabaga, or some turnip roots, things like that, anything, Maybe you don't have no real fancy ones but you can get them. You can get the seeds and you can grow them, So go get you some Sojourn, go get you some stuff that comes out of the crown of the trees, okay? You can buy some nuts and things like that. Get you some pine seeds that come out of the pine cone, okay? And the pine cone looks like very much like the pineal gland that you have in your head. It's like a little pine cone. There's all these little secrets and things that God put right there for us to find. And it's taken many years for me to find these things and understand them, but I understand them now, and I share them with y'all guys freely. So please look into that. Let's see here. Wow, a lot of comments. Ginger, yep. Turmeric, yep, that's the other one. Yep, that is also very, very good. And a bunch of you said ginger as well. Black walnuts. And sometimes it's not just the nut itself, but you definitely want to eat the nut, but the husk, like on black walnuts, that husk that's around it. A lot of people use that as well and consume that as well. You just need to look up how to process these things. The information's out there for all this stuff. You got to want it or be seeking it in order to find it. Seek and you shall find, right? Well, seek. Look for the things that look like things in your body, like celery, okay? Celery is a stalk that sits right on top of the ground. It runs up, looks just like a muscle in your body or a tendon. And guess what they happen to be really good for? That. One of the ways you know that that's good for your legs and for your muscles is because of what it looks like, where it's growing from. It's growing like if it was your foot stuck on the ground and it's growing up, looks like one of the muscles growing up in your leg. That's how you can find the solution of what something is good for. Study it, look at it carefully. That's the way they learned how to do everything they're doing. But of course, we're using it for good. We want to use it for good, not evil. Parsnips, yeah, those are good too. Very, very good. Yep. Ginger for indigestion or just ginger for gut health, any kind of that stuff like that. Yeah, apple cider vinegar is awesome as well. Roots and tubers, yep. Timber Traveler chiming in again. Does anyone know anything about lion's mane? Kim says. If you guys know anything about lion's mane, put it in the comments if you would, please. Lion's mane helps body heal itself from traumas. Maybe. I'm assuming lion's mane, you're not talking about the actual hair of the lion. I'm assuming. Anyways, but you never know. God was pretty creative with some of the ways that he put a lot of things in this world. So, lion's mane's been purported to improve cognition and relieve anxiety and depression. I seen a video the other day. I think it was started to come from TikTok, I think, but it was on YouTube, I think. And I might have even shared it on the channel. I probably did on one of my channels here. But it was a man who he had Parkinson's, where he's shaking and can't control himself. It's because his electrical impulses in his body are overstimulating him. Okay, they're firing uncontrollably. And so what he did was he went and got this guy had him take a little bit of like kind of like the CBD stuff, or maybe it was more real, but it was the liquid, and consume it. Put it under his tongue and almost in his cheek a little bit. And within about, I think it was about 15, 20 minutes, the Parkinson's pretty much completely went away. He could talk normal. He stopped shaking. And I think that video was legitimate. So, but that'd be something to check into. If I'm not saying it's real for sure, but you might check into it. So, let's see here. All righty. Well, guys, I think we've done a pretty good job today on our first little test of a poll kind of thing. If you have questions you'd like answered when it comes to poll questions and that kind of thing, you can submit them. You can send them into that number there as well. Just text to that number. I don't take any phone calls on that number. The Supernatural Show itself does have a phone number. It's 843-402-8827. And that's the number where normally I'll answer. If I don't answer, one of my other people might answer, either Miss Kim, Miss Shannon, or Mr. Dan. Okay, but I'll probably be likely the one to answer it. But that's to call me to talk about important things. And this number here is more for communicating your stories. If you have a supernatural story you want to tell me, or just save it in here. That way you got a number to me, save it in your phone. Maybe send me a quick text and just say, give me your name and maybe the state you're in, and say, add me to your records, something like that, Or you can send me images or links to videos or story or things that are going on that are supernatural in nature around the world, or something, an event that you want to make sure I know about, that kind of thing. You can use that number there. Okay. So I appreciate y'all guys being here for the Supernatural Poll Show today. We'll probably do this again. Seems like y'all guys enjoyed it pretty well. At least that's what it appears to me anyways, that y'all guys like this. And hopefully you like the fact too that now y'all guys are right in the show with me. And as long as my equipment is working, I'll have y'all guys right here in the show with me. Yeah, somebody could say something ugly at some point and end up getting themselves banned. But I doubt there's anything they could say that would really do any real damage of any kind. And plus, I can ban them easily with the click of a button, so they don't get to comment anymore. So be nice to everybody, and everybody know who it is. So with that being said, guys, I come back here. I do appreciate y'all guys being here today. I do love you. Our Father in heaven does love you. I hope you got some value out of this, more than just entertainment. I hope that you got some value out of it from some of the things that I said, or some of the concepts or ideas that I proposed to you. And so far as Shannon and Dan, Shannon's working again today. I come up with these shows out of the blue. I'm going to do it today, and it's going to be at 3:00. So can't hold it against people for not being available. So my co-host Shannon is she's working, trying to help her family make a living. And Mr. Dan, he's kind of got his brother Dan, my spiritual advisor, he's kind of got his hands newly full of things going on with helping taking care of a family. And So I miss them both, and I'm sure they'll be back here with us again very soon. I love you guys, and until next time, I love you. Talk to you again soon. Bye.